Welcome.
Attention, please.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome to the No Comfort Zone podcast. It's time to get out of your comfort zone and live on purpose. Broadcasting to the world from Rockford, Illinois. This is your wake-up call.
Warning.
You are the solutions to all your problems. Stop thinking average. Become the hero version of yourself. Every day, every time, without fail, no exceptions. It all matters. You've entered the No Comfort Zone. It's time for a reality check.
Leadership is one of those words that, you got 100 people out there and you ask who wants to be the leader. And by the way, I'm making this up as I go along. This isn't practiced, drilled, or rehearsed. I'm winging it. You could ask 100 people out there about who wants to be the leader, and I would say the majority of the people would raise their hand. And then when it comes down to it, when you actually explain what leadership is, what it isn't, and what you're going to have to do, and leadership is a full-time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week obligation. And it's constantly, here's what I'm getting at in this podcast. And thanks for listening. This is Dan in the No Comfort Zone, really outside of my comfort zone because I'm talking about leadership. And that's just it. One of the things that I did during the No Comfort Zone Mindset Challenge that I was going through is I realized that if I wanted to break records within my organization, I would have to duplicate myself. And I would have to get help to accomplish the goal because I can't do it myself. So I had to train people on a different level in a really short period of time. And there's a few people that took the challenge and went along with it. And they were willing to, these people would bite through trees if I asked them to, but they knew the end result was we'd be victorious. And victorious meant financially and meant winning for the dealership. It meant winning for their customers. There's a lot of different levels that this would work, but you really had to be all in. So I've used the term before about leadership. If you want to be a really great leader, you got to be a great follower. And I believe that to be true. And to this day, I still think I'm a great follower because with the right ethics, character, and mission in place, I'm extremely loyal to the end result. Now I'm going through my own leadership issues because I have people that we have to part ways with. And one of them, due to personal reasons, had to move on. And I wish that person the best, the absolute best. It's sad to see the person go. I didn't want it to happen, but I think they need to take care of themselves. And the reason why they're not with me anymore was a personal choice, and that person had to move on. And I don't think they really wanted to, but things got out of control, and I think they have to go take care of themselves. So there's also other people that I have to let go and I have to move on because it just didn't work out. Not the right line of work for them. They could be the nicest people in the world, but in the end, you have to have that winning mentality. And some people are okay to be average, and to be average in my team just really doesn't fit in very well. And also, there's also people that are really good leaders that have been, people leading way up on the chain of command that are now within the organization that position-wise, they're in a different role than I am, but I'm the top leader in the group, and these people have a lot of experience. So you sometimes have to lead, from a different point of view and let them take leadership in that role and support them. And it's not an easy thing to do. You have to swallow your pride and your ego and realize this person knows more than I do. And this person has a better vantage point than I do. And this person will accomplish the mission, accomplish the objective, achieve the goal better than I will. And my job at that point is support them immensely. Whether that's going to be somebody in a junior level or somebody in a senior level, at the end, my job is to manage what's going on around and make sure I support them 100%. So leadership's a funny thing because it is pride swallowing, ego eliminating, and service driven. And it's something that you're going to have to do when you become a leader. You do it 24/7, and it's not easy. If there's somebody that's listening that's in a leadership position and you think that leadership is easy and it's great and all that stuff, let me know, because I'm having a really hard time finding the fun in leadership. it's like personal servitude. I serve all the people that I work with, and they have some strong demands. Now, the difference is I'm prepared in my position now to get into a different role of leadership. And what I mean by that is doing them both, doing the hands-on and also doing the leadership, kind of like somebody would do in the field of battle, which I've never been in, although I am a Marine. I was an active Marine from 1988 to 1992, but I've never seen combat. And from what I know of and from the training I've been through, there's a lot of, when you're in the field of battle, everybody's got to get the job done. And that's where I'm at now, because I believe the next level in the organization is success. Now, what's interesting when I speak about leadership on stage from the No Comfort Zone blueprint that I created and that I've actually done seminars on and I spoke about, it's fun and it's easy to digest, but implementation is difficult. It's difficult because you have to lead by example. You can't be hypocritical. You can't say, do as I say, not as I do. You have to follow through on what you're teaching and what you're talking about. And that's where the no comfort zone comes in. It's easy to sit back and dictate, tell somebody what to do, tell them how to do it. It's a lot harder to roll up your sleeves and show them, here's the zinger, especially when you don't know what you're doing. And that's the hard part. There are people in some high-level positions that just don't know what they're doing. Do they have to know everything? No, they absolutely don't have to know everything. But you have to know something, and if you don't know everything, you have to know people, you have to know the process, and you have to know the best way to communicate and get leverage on someone to help them to get where it is they want to go within their organization, within their career, personally. You have a responsibility to help that person. So what I want to say is this: if you're a leader out there and if you're actually helping people to get to the next level in their career, you'll have to understand the gap KASH analysis. And it's on my blueprint, and it's really simple. You sit down with somebody and you go over their level of knowledge on the subject matter of what it is their occupation is. You can break it down to a bunch of other things, but when it comes down to what's the basic knowledge or the advanced knowledge that they're going to need in order to complete their job, their mission, their objective efficiently, you're going to have to identify what that is. You're also going to have to look at their overall attitude. For example, I do this when I do sales seminars. You have to look at not only the positive mental attitude, not only the winning attitude, but you have to look at the sales attitude. And what I mean by that is when you're in a sales environment, what's the overall attitude when you're given a challenge, when somebody says no, when somebody gives you obstacles that are really hard to overcome? What's your selling attitude? Then you can go back to the knowledge on the subject. Do they have a good knowledge on sales and salesmanship and what it takes? But you want to do the gap analysis. On a scale of 1 to 10, where would you rank yourself? I would rank myself a 5. Great. If 10 is perfect, then a gap analysis is 5. 10 minus 5 is 5. And then you have to work with that. But you have to ask them the question so that you know their understanding, not your understanding, but their understanding. Then you'll go on to the skills. So let's say, for example, in the sales arena, communication is going to be really important. But what type of communication? There's listening and there's, let's say, asking questions. Let's just talk about asking questions. On a scale of 1 to 10, how good are you when it comes to having the skills of asking high quality questions to get the answer you're looking for? 10 is perfect. You think it's the best. That would be the Grant Cardones of the world. Or, 1 is, you're having a hard time Napoleon Dynamite communicating. Anybody that can go out there and use Napoleon Dynamite from the movie and Grant Cardone in a presentation, that's outstanding. I deserve a few reviews for that one. How awesome is that? By the way, do me a favor. Give me some 5 stars. Greatly appreciate it. Hit me up with a really cool review on how this podcast changed your life and now you're successful in every way, shape, and form. Or how after listening to this podcast, life's a little bit better because you got outside of your comfort zone and now you're no longer dealing with the adversity because you learned some skills on this podcast. That would be phenomenal if you could do that. But when it comes to skills, what's the gap analysis? 10. Well, I'm not a Grant Cardone, but I'll put myself down as, let's say, a 7. So your gap analysis is 3. You need to decrease that 3 to a 10. What do you need to work on? It's real easy to figure out when you know where you're at, when you gauge it. And then let's say the last one is habits. If, again, you're in sales and we use habits, what are the habits you're doing on a regular basis? How do you start your day? What's your success schedule? What are your activity goals? What are your productivity goals? What habits do you have on a daily basis that help you to sell? So again, it would be on a scale of 1 to 10. Habit-wise, I'm the most efficient person on planet. My habits exude success. My habits get me to a 6-figure income, and I'm looking to get to the next level. So another thing I want to say, a lot of people that I've been talking to recently, it's either I want to get to 6 figures, which quite frankly is not a lot of money anymore. I just want to share with you it's not. Or the next one is I want to get to 250. Now, so 100 grand in sales, that's awesome. That's great. You're dealing in professional level right now. I think the new professional level in sales is going to be right over that $120 is what I really believe. Consistently doing that. And it's not what you think in order to get there. And I could share with you that in another podcast. If you want to know more about sales, hit me up at Dan@the-no-comfort-zone, and I'll share with you some stuff. Or if you get the blueprint, I can kind of walk you through how to use the blueprint to help you in sales. But the truth be told is, you want to be you want to be $500,000 or more is where you really want to be at if you're in the sales. And the knowledge, the attitude, the skills, and the habits are going to be game changers when you know how to use those to your advantage. And that's really what I want to tell you when it comes down to this podcast. It's really this, that when you take the gap cash analysis and you apply that to your team as a leader, and you ask questions and you listen intently and you use this structure, this gives you the blueprint as the leader to help your people achieve their personal goals, their professional goals, their occupational goals, which quite frankly could be a little bit different. And it really gets you a chance to sit down and listen and talk to your people. And I'll say this from a leadership point of view, the number one thing you can do is sit down with your people and ask them how you can help. In your response, you should always know this, it is time as a leader for you to get outside of your comfort zone and live on purpose. And more importantly, I'll end it with this, get out of your comfort zone and lead on purpose.
Say goodbye.
Want more of the No Comfort Zone? You can follow Dan on Instagram and Twitter at NoComfortZone1.
Bye.
Or on the web at thenocomfortzone.com.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the No Comfort Zone podcast.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.